Hello and Happy New Year, everyone. Ms. Megan here from the Columbus Public Library Teen Department, and welcome to What's New in Teen Lit. This month's theme is Been There, Survived That. These books feature harrowing stories of survival. Don't forget, you can place a hold on any of these titles by visiting our website at cvlga.org. You can pick them up curbside or in the building at any location. And stay tuned till the end of this video and you'll learn how to make a simple, everyday survival kit. Let's get started. Don't let the cover fool you. Wildfire by Carrie Mack is not a romance among the flames story, but there's still a lot of love. Annie and Pete are best friends and thrill seekers who have bonded over their shared experience of losing their mothers. Annie's developed feelings for Pete that he doesn't share, but she still cares deeply about their friendship. When they decide to hike off trail on an unreported route, their adventure turns into disaster. Pete winds up injured, their first aid efforts fail, and with zero battery on their phones, they have no way to call for help. As the wildfires in their area creep ever closer to their camp, Pete falls unconscious from fever, and Annie must decide whether or not to leave him behind and search for help. For a book filled with wilderness adventure, teen angst, and the enduring love of lifelong friendship, check out Wildfire by Carrie Mack. Our next book is Aftershocks by Marissa Reichart. Teens Ruby and Charlie are trapped after the laundromat they're in collapses during a massive earthquake. At first, they were strangers, but now, in the middle of the rubble, unable to see each other or move, they begin to talk. And they continue to talk for over a day and a half as they lay injured and dehydrated beneath the building as it is rocked by aftershocks. What do they think about? Will they be rescued? Check out Aftershocks by Marissa Reichart to find out. If you are a fan of romance and historical fiction, then Beautiful Wild by Anna Godberson is for you. Vita Hazard plans to be on board for the maiden voyage of the SS Princess of the Pacific, aka the Millionaire Ship of the West, to charm Fitzhugh Farrar into a proposal. Sal, Fitzhugh's best friend, was not part of Vita's plan, and neither was the hurricane that strands them on an island together struggling to survive. Will they find their way off the island? Who will Vita choose? Check out Beautiful Wild by Anna Godberson to find out. Scale Mount Everest with lifelong friends Rose and Tate, and Above All Else by Dana Allison Levy. After traveling the world together summiting mountains, Rose and Tate are about to tackle the big one, Mount Everest, to celebrate their high school graduation. Since planning the trip, their motivations have changed. Rose is climbing for her mother, who can no longer make the trip after a recent multiple sclerosis diagnosis. Tate is attempting to redeem himself after he almost died on their last trip. He wants to prove to his dad that he isn't the master of disaster. Plus, he's in love with Rose. Their journey will test their fortitude, both physically and mentally, and force them to reflect on a numerous list of things. For a deftly written and detail-filled adventure story told from alternating perspectives, check out Above All Else by Dana Allison Levy. A sailing joyride turns deadly in The Vanishing Place by Teresa Emenizer. Four friends set sail off the Florida coast and wind up on a deserted island after a sudden squall. With one of their quartet left dead, the other three must try to survive and make an escape. For a free verse adventure story great for reluctant readers with a wildly abrupt ending that leaves you guessing, pick up The Vanishing Place by Teresa Emenizer. Be Not Far From Me by Mindy McGinnis is a survival story for older teens or more mature readers. When her boyfriend cheats on her during a camping trip in the Smoky Mountains, Ashley Hawkins runs into the woods and winds up far off the trail and badly injured. With only the clothes on her back, she must use her outdoor survival skills and wits to mend her foot and find her way out of the woods. For fans of Gary Paulson's Hatchet or Cheryl Strayed's Wild, check out Be Not Far From Me by Mindy McGinnis. Our final book, The Snow Fell 3 Graves Deep, Voices of the Donner Party by Ellen Wolf, offers fans of historical nonfiction and free verse poetry a heartbreaking tale of the ill-fated pioneer caravan. Told from alternating perspectives ranging from the adults and children to the oxen and hunger itself, readers meet the group 2 weeks into their journey and follow them until the bitter end. Hunger caused the emigrants to leave their homes and venture along the Oregon Trail. It urged the men, George Donner and James Reed, to join a party bound to follow the less-traveled Hastings Cutoff through the mountains, a cutoff that claimed to save 300 miles along the journey. When an average wagon travels at 3 miles per hour on a good day, the thought of saving 300 miles was not to be passed up. Hunger drove Donner and Reed to form their own party when halfway through the trip their larger caravan chose not to take Hastings Cutoff due to numerous warnings that it was unsuitable for travel. It pushed the Donner Party to continue the journey even after discovering that Lansford Hastings, the trailblazer himself, wasn't going to personally escort them along the trail as promised. Hunger moved them to follow Hastings' tracks through the Great Salt Desert, even though they had been expressly told it was half as wide and the extra miles cost them all their water, several oxen and cattle, and 4 wagons. Hunger forced them to rest for a week at the foot of Pike's Peak, hunting for food, ditching possessions to lighten the load, and suddenly realizing they don't have enough food to make it to California. And the worst is yet to come. An early winter strands the remaining 81 party members in the Sierra Nevada mountains along Truckee Lake, and it becomes every family for themselves. Months into the ordeal, food has run out, starvation has set in, death is a regular visitor, and hunger compels the survivals to do the unimaginable. How many will make it out alive? For a gorgeously written, gut-wrenching account of the Donner Party, check out The Snow Fell, 3 Graves Deep by Alan Wolfe. And now it's time to learn to make your own everyday survival kit. First, you need to choose a container. I'm going to use an old mint tin, but you could use a plastic baggie or even a reusable fabric bag. I'm going to put some tissues, some Band-Aids, a spare face mask, a hair tie, chapstick, and some spare change in mine. Here's what it looks like all together, and I just need to close the lid. It's easy, it's portable, and that's exactly what you want an everyday survival kit to be. What would you find helpful to have around on a daily basis? Here are some other ideas to fill your everyday survival kit. Just make sure that you think about the situation you're preparing for, select a container, and make sure that all your items will fit inside. For more great content, follow us on social media. We are at Chat Libraries on Facebook and YouTube, and at CV Libraries on Instagram. I'm Miss Megan from the Columbus Public Library Teen Department, and thanks for watching. Join me next month when we dive into new teen love stories and learn how to make hot chocolate on a stick. See you next time.